Right, thrilled to have Ross Sutherland in the room tonight. Hi Ross, you might not really know me, but I do send you a lot of memes and messages on Facebook. Even liked one of them once. About 18 months ago. It's a two-way thing, mate, you know, it's a little bit one-way street at the moment. Anyway, he's a superlative performer. If you've seen Stand By for Tape Back Up, you'll know what I'm on about. I've seen it at least 4 times live, and I think I've got it figured out. So, I'd like to do an experiment, and this experiment is to see whether imitation is the sincerest form of parody. This is a Viewmaster. If you don't know what this is, think of it as an analog Oculus Rift. For those of you who had one, it may inspire feelings of nostalgia. For those of you who didn't have one, it may inspire feelings of nostalgia for a time you never had. It consists of a reel of stereoscopic pairs. This one's of Dempsey and Makepeace. If you don't know what Dempsey and Makepeace is, you're not alone, I don't either. It appears to be some sort of 70s cop show. So this was a common thing. It's not the whole show. This is the climax. It's scenes 17 through to 20. And my premise is: does this reel, can it represent my childhood? Well, let's find out, shall we? Remember that noise? Ah, yes, right. Now, I'll just... bleach blonde hair with tie-dye, and this woman is kneeing, who can only be, in this metaphor, my father. She seems to have also, yes, I remember it, corrugated metal in the backyard, jumping out of the window and causing my dad to face plant on the unforgiving concrete, me watching from above. I remember that day well, coming home from school, all the doors open, the house reeking like an abattoir, the ammonia smell covering up some sort of crime scene, and my mother screaming that her scalp was on fire. Good days. Yeah, he's a man in a powder blue suit, leaping over a train track. Do you remember those public informations films of the 1970s and 80s? I used to see them much less than warnings and more like R&D for like things we could get up to. I used to go there to the train yard. Yeah, I remember this now. This is the day when I went missing, and the crisis brought them both together for an episode. My father here, yes, looking like a Bond villain or the hero in a white suit and his cravat unfurled, it seems. Yeah, this reminds me of, I remember that, when he lost his job as a pipe fitter. This is the suit he used to wear for white collar work. I remember it well. He used to go to door-to-door salesman. He tried, and a BSM driving instructor. There was a grand spunk down a pipe dream, that was. Yeah, our entire Christmas fund just gone. But we had each other, which is the greatest gift of all. Oh, here we are now. Here we are in a landscape full of pylons. Oh, I remember this. Oh, and there's me dad shooting me mother. No, I do remember this. Oh, yes. This is every time we used to go to my our grandparents or any of my mother's extended family. Yeah, each one of them a bullet in the room that they could pack and let out. After about 3 wines for the ladies, crate of Continental Pilsner for the men. My mother, she had a very specific bullet that she kept for my auntie. younger than her. She was the favourite of the family. She'd had her firstborn child a year earlier, so by the time I came around, it wasn't really a big deal, yeah. And she used to keep it, and her bullet was she used to talk about how able-bodied I was, because my cousin, she had cerebral palsy. She's a spastic. Her words, not mine. My mother was a delightful person. Oh, yeah. And here we are again, Hallison, bygone days, the blue sky, the candy floss whipped clouds. My dad taught him that gun. Oh, it was a street in Essex. I remember that holiday well in London where we stayed over at his ex's Kensington flat. That was never going to go wrong, was it? Yeah, there he is chasing her down, and my mother, now enveloped in gun smoke. She had that magazine that my father gave her. All those white lies he used to whisper to her every time she threatened divorce. Beautiful, beautiful times. We never went to London Zoo. And here we are now, the climactic scene. A man in a blue paisley suit running away. Sorry, I just got lost in the good memories. Yeah, and here we are again, back to the beginning. My mother, tie-dye, bleach blonde. Viewmaster has taught me that life isn't like a story. In between those clicks, things repeat, repeat, repeat. There's no such thing as a beginning, no such thing as an end. It just goes on and on and on. And there she is again on a Monday. It was usually a Monday. Me and my dad face planting him onto that unforgiving concrete. Happy times.
Oh, hello. So it's been a while since I've done stand-up. Last time I seen Catherine, I think I was singing a song about we. Don't know if she remembers that. Do you remember that?
It was really good.
Yeah. Oh, it was one of them things. You either absolutely hated it to the point you wanted to kill me, or you absolutely hated it to the point where you wanted to kill yourself. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, I haven't done stand-up for ages. Probably a reason for that, because I'm not funny. But anyway, God loves a trier. So on colours, my favourite colour used to be blue, because I didn't actually use my brain. And when I finally did use my brain, I decided it was purple, because there was this girl I was obsessed with, and I hated her and I loved her, and she didn't even know who I was, and her favourite colour was purple, and I was very bitter, so that's why I chose her favourite colour. Makes perfect sense. Anyway, right, I used to introduce myself as Dr. Carlos, so I used to introduce myself like this. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I used to go, my name's Dr. Carlos. I'm not a real doctor, but I do like to tell people what's wrong with them. Obviously, the 2016 version of that is, my name's Dr. Carlos. I'm not a real doctor. That's what Jeremy Hunt says. Anyway, so, housemates. I had 20 housemates that are a fucking nightmare, which when you think you're the worst person in the world is the most confusing thing in the world, because it's like, how can I be the worst person in the world when I live with people that are worse than me in several ways? But no, of course, I've got to the point where I've ruined my next setup that I only just thought of over there. But what I was going to say was, if you don't know who I am, my name is Carl, and I am a nice, kind, gentle person that never says a bad word about anyone and always cares about people above himself. And if you do know who I am, you might know why that's funny. Because I'm a bit of an antagonist. I'm a bit of an arsehole. I mean, we all are, aren't we? It's just whether we internalise it or externalise it. And for some reason, I like to externalise it. I don't know why. Some reason behind that is when I'm listening to the voices in my head telling me I'm worse than shit, I'm kind of like, oh, well, let's test that theory. And turns out it's quite accurate. Anyway, no, I don't actually suffer from a little bit of narcissism, and the problem with narcissism is it's misunderstood. Narcissists actually, they need to love themselves more than less, because when they do that, they tend to not seek attention as much, and they just tend to just like being, which is quite cool. If you've ever been a human being, it's pretty cool. You can stare at your fridge and go, that's fucking awesome. I didn't make that. Someone made that. Someone went, fuck, we've got food, and it keeps going off. What should we do? Fridge? Yeah. Fucking inventions are class, aren't they? You know? Someone invented the microphone. They're regretting that right now. But yeah, no, inventions are cool. And so let's talk about what was the invention we were talking about using? A DVD player or something like that. I got this book and it was 1,001 top inventions. And the iPhone was in there, and I was like, what? That's not an invention. That's a phone that happens to do more stuff than a normal phone, and everyone did that afterwards, didn't they? Yeah, so that's an invention. Computer games, I think, are pretty fucking cool inventions. I mean, what else can you do where you could just pretend you're not yourself? And you'll be like, I have this character in this world and it's wicked, and then you turn around and you make a row of 4 and it breaks and you're like, Tetris is fucking amazing. Or you could pretend to be a fucking hedgehog, which is just weird, because if I was a hedgehog, right, I wouldn't be like, fuck, whoa, what a hedgehog shit at running. I'm going to not be that hedgehog. I'm going to be really fast. I wish that worked in life. It's like, oh shit, what am I not good at? Getting with women. Okay, I'm going to be a Lothario. Yeah, which didn't work in my life either. So I'm getting to the end here. I'm sure I had a point at the end. I'm trying to think of what that was. Oh yeah, flatmates, that's it. Yeah, flatmates, yeah. Of these 20 flatmates, now pity is something that makes me feel bad, because I think if I pity someone, then I have to discard my life, and as a narcissist, that's the worst thing in the world. To look at someone else's life and just think, oh God, that poor person. And the thing is, this person's very similar to me in lots of ways, which is even worse. But I'd move out of a house as a favour of a mate, because I absolutely hated that house. I had a mental breakdown. Anyway, that's another story. So I'd moved out of this house, and he was in the house briefly for 3 months with my best mates, and they didn't really know him, so he took my place in the house. And this incident happened that I've never seen. I've just heard the story, and I've got mental pictures, because obviously you be in a house for enough time, you sort of have mental pictures of where everything is. And we only had one toilet in the house, and my mate, I won't say who he is, but he was the sort of polite guy that never said that he needed the toilet, otherly known as fucking weird, because when you need the toilet, you really need to go to the toilet, or tell people you need to go to the toilet. Anyway, point being, my flatmates knew that he needed to go to the toilet because he started going to the toilet instead of actually going to the toilet. And that's why I left that house, because it was literally a toilet. And I knew this 3 months before I left, so that's why I'm a visionary. Anyway, yeah, this has been fun. Sorry for overrunning, Jenny. I'll take my hat off to you, because it's yours and you gave me it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Second time here. Well, enjoyed the last one. Have you got friends who go on holidays and always, if you go to Tenerife, they give you Lebanese, you know, that kind of friends. They always have to do, yeah. Well, I brought my friend with me. There he is, Andy. Now, I'm not a poet, but I have managed to put some words together that kind of rhyme a little bit. So I thought I'll use it for good, and I'll use it to take the piss out of Andy. So this is just a short poem called Andy Doesn't Holiday Like Us. Well, there's many a destination holds a special fascination. No matter your chosen recreation, you're bound to find the right location. Some would go windsurfing off Gran Canaria. Others prefer mountains, their pursuits are not scarier. And there'll always be those who heed the call of the beach, as long as there's a pina colada in reach. There's a bloke that we know, who on holiday will go, but doesn't seem bothered about sun, sea or snow. But Andy doesn't holiday, at least not like us. I mean, you might take a plane or a train or a bus, but that's where the apparent similarities end. Some of his recent destinations are just round the bend. I mean, I'm talking about places you've just never heard of, like Outer Mongolia and the peninsula of Verdov. And I know when he tells us, some of the details get missed, but I swear some of these places don't even exist. And with some of these places, it's not for the scenery. You know what? I've been thinking, I've got a theory. It's not just a coincidence, it's becoming quite clear that wherever Andy goes, a prominent figure will disappear. I know. And when you ask to see the photos, he'll show you, no hesitation, but they're always of his wife in front of some military installation. And he says he's just relaxing, but I think I'd find it taxing to carry all that kit and such a wide array of vaccines. I pack shorts and sun cream, factor 32. He packs night vision goggles and retracting blade in his shoe. When you and I leave the country, it's with a certain amount of autonomy, but by the time Andy's deported, he's destabilised their economy. I mean, who doesn't carry the serum to the bite of a poisonous adder? But there's no legitimate use for a 30-foot nylon rope ladder. When I've taken photographs, I send them all to Polaroid. All Andy's photos are sent straight to Winterpol in Scotland Yard. You and I may have an agenda over which we cast an eye, but it's fair to say that Andy has more of a modus operandi. He'll say he's soaking up the sun, yet he doesn't look much tanned. He'll say he was just lying on the beach, but his shoes have never seen sand. Andy is a man who should probably be quite feared, as indeed should any man that always carries a false beard. When it comes to holidays, well, I always pay, but Andy comes back with more money than when he went away. You know, Andy doesn't holiday, he doesn't holiday like us. Or he may get on a plane or a train or a bus, but that's definitely where the similarities wobble. He's off next month for 2 weeks in Chernobyl.
Hello. I've been doing NaPoWriMo this month, and quite frankly I'm sick of poetry now. 2 days to go, I can't be arsed. But the challenge the other day was to write a sonnet, and this is what I came up with. It's called The Birth of Tragedy. The Bacchanalia begins with drums. Raise your arms to the sky as the beat drops. Pray to the gods that the music won't stop. Bodies reacting as the music thrums. Raise your glow sticks high on the podiums. Sweat rising on all our skins like dewdrops. Chemicals rise us higher than rooftops. In this mad world, this is our asylum. With bright morning comes a different beat. Apollo's chariot drags the sun behind, skewering his light into your damaged mind. You'll feel the regret till at least midweek. Hindsight's visions begging for a rewind throbs in your head to the sound of defeat.
Hello. Right, sorry to tone down, but this is a personal poem. I did it a few months ago. It's called It's Okay. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be afraid. You're not thick, even though that's what they say to you. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be afraid. You've got a very good reason to be afraid. The bullies are really afraid of you. That's why they try to bring you down to their level. Sticks and stones, bricks or bones doesn't work. Try saying, I know I am. What does that make you instead? I know why you're all alone in your bedroom, because no one can tease you or hurt you like what you can outside. I did spend a lot of time in that room. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be afraid. I'm very proud of you. For one day you're going to be me. I should have told my parents, but I never did. I should never run away from home. That wasn't very good. These are the regrets I've got to live with for the rest of my life. But thank God I'm all over them now. It was okay to be scared. It was okay to be afraid. I wish I could turn back the clock and stop myself from running away and tell my parents that I was bullied. Especially my mum, who's sadly no longer with us. I'd like to thank Lawrence Bear for giving me the strength to talk about it, because it's bloody amazing, and when you have that light on you think, right, I'm over this now, and you feel brilliant. I would say look out for Tyneside Playback Theatre, because it is brilliant. I told my story to them and I watched it and I thought, fucking hell, was it that bad? It probably was. But yeah. Thank you very much.
Hello. Now, I know some of you, seeing me come up here, are expecting an otter. I too have been doing NaPoWriMo. Mine are all about otters. But I'm going to save that for next month when I'm doing a set here. That will be the otter set. So I hope it's okay. I want to do a serious one. Just over a month ago, there were some really bad terrorist attacks in Brussels, the metro and the airport. And my friend Charlotte lives in Brussels, and her husband David left that morning and didn't come home. And for nearly a week he was classed as missing because it took that long to find anything to identify. So she asked me to write a poem. I haven't done really the poem that she needs, but I have done a poem, and I'd like to perform it. It's called In Which I Take a Bath with Billy Collins. Does anybody know Billy Collins' work? Yeah, American poet. Yeah. Of all the American poets I could have taken into the bath, today I chose Billy, grabbing him from the shelf next to the blown up print of Hokusai's Red Fuji, so big the mountain blurs as if seen through tears. It's not that we have very much in common, neither sex, nor age, nor nationality, not even a love of jazz, although I do appreciate the way Thelonious Monk glides through the cloisters of Billy's verses, wearing his double-edged name like a private joke on your lover's face. In my dull coastal life, I envy the snow that falls crisp and insouciant onto his pages. But yet, as I listen to him hold forth in his measured, sardonic, avuncular way about snow and barking dogs and death. I feel sure that he would say, write it all down. Write the faint guilt I feel about the geraniums, pale and loitering on the kitchen windowsill because I tried to hold them off too soon. Or the shame for past angers raised against my husband, like him, mistaking anxiety for failure all these years. And now the fear that I must fail my friend, whose own husband is gone, suddenly and forever, his beloved self utterly undone by fanatics who bomb and burn and kill, infidel and apostate alike. So narrow is the eye of their needle. She has asked me for a poem in which celebration and poignancy might waltz together, leaning back counterweight in each other's arms like champions at the American Smooth. She has asked that her grief not be made into a stick with which to beat up refugees, the millions who, like her, have lived in the cruelty of hope, that their lost ones might be found, miraculous in the wreckage, concussed perhaps, amnesiac, but intact, their familiar limbs aching only to sink into a long, hot bath. Billy, what should I say for her? You would find words, and they would be good and plain and true like a shaker chair. But I have no clue how to speak to this. I couldn't even tell you why this water runs so dark when the boiler has just been serviced.
Hi,